Hello, everyone. Today we are looking at the last major component of astrology, which I like to call the spheres of mortal life because they bring all the heavenly influences of the planets and zodiac signs into mundane life. I am, of course, talking about the astrological houses. Let's take a look at them with some stories. The gods create mortals in their image. At birth, every mortal receives a divine spark of each god, fashioned with the resources from the realm they are in. One of them, the gods decide, the one whose realm the newborn sees rising over the eastern horizon, will be his patron, and the gods whose realms follow will oversee the different spheres of the mortal's life. Here we learn that the sign that is seen rising over the eastern horizon at the time of someone's birth has a very important role in astrology because it sets up the connection between the houses and the signs. It is called the ascendant or rising sign. Because Earth spins on its own axis, the 12 constellations seem to rise on the eastern and fall on the western horizon. Within 24 hours, every sign rises over the eastern horizon once, after which the cycle begins anew. When creating a natal chart, we are creating a snapshot of the planets in the signs at the time of someone's birth. But the third component of the natal chart, the houses, are determined by the rotation of Earth on its own axis. The ascendant is the fastest changing point in anyone's chart, even faster than the moon, which takes about 2.5 days through one sign, while the ascendant changes about every 2 hours. At the time of someone's birth, the sign rising over the eastern horizon becomes someone's ascendant. It will be the first house in whole sign house astrology and is meant to resemble the person to which the natal chart belongs, their personality, and the way they move through life. The signs that follow will also become houses starting in counterclockwise motion. The sign after the ascendant will be numbered the second house, the sign after that the third house, and so on until the 12th house is reached. Each house is a sphere of mortal life, a specific area common to human life, such as marriage or children. Today, we are going to look at the first six houses. The other six we will talk about in the next video. Like with the signs, there are different ways to conceptualize the houses. First up, the houses can be grouped into personal and collective, or private and public houses, with the first to sixth house on the bottom of a chart being personal and the other six houses on the top of a chart being collective. Often, the houses on the left side, houses 1 to 3 as well as 10 to 12, are considered houses of the self, and the houses on the right side, houses 4 to 9, are considered relationship houses. Following this logic, the houses can also be divided into four quadrants. In houses 1 to 3, we focus on our own development in the private. In houses 4 to 6, we focus on our expression, especially in private relationships. In houses 7 to 9, we expand ourselves through our public relationships. And in houses 10 to 12, we transcend ourselves by being a single self within a bigger collective. The houses can also be divided into three groups of four. The personal houses from house 1 to 4, which are all about the self. The social houses from house 5 to 8, where the self and the other interact. And the universal houses from house 9 to 12, which is all about groups of people. The houses opposing each other often have opposite meanings, such as the second house being about personal values, while the eighth house is about shared values. In traditional astrology, we also talk about angular, cadent, and succedent houses. These group the houses into a sequence of three, starting with the cadent house, which sets up an action. It is followed by the angular house, which is the most busy house in the sequence and is the house where the impulse of the cadent house is developed and sustained. The succeedent house, which is the last house, is the place where we take rest and reap the rewards from the actions of the angular house. The first group of three is that of the 12th, first, and second house. The second group is that of the third, fourth, and fifth house. The third group is that of the sixth, seventh, and eighth house. And the fourth group is that of the ninth, 10th, and 11th house. Now, let's dive deeper into the first six houses. The god whose realm rises over the eastern horizon as visible from the native's birthplace shall be the newborn's patron god. In body and spirit, the child will be imbued with the realm's qualities and the god's strengths and weaknesses alike. These qualities we find in the native's entrance hall, for there we meet him for the first time. This too is the place where he stores the garment with which he goes out into the world. Here we have the rising sign, the first house, which is also called the hour marker because it marks the time when someone is born. This is a very strong angular house, for it is all about us. The first house gives us our character and personality, our strengths and weaknesses, which in turn help us deal with life itself. It shows us the personal qualities through which we can get ahead in life, because from a young age we have been taught that those traits are appropriate. With this, we tackle life as a whole. It also shows our body, the physical shell into which we are born, its physical appearance and overall vitality, as well as the circumstances under which we come into this world. Our mind and spirit also are indicated in the first house, and through this, it shows which decisions we are likely to make about our life. With our body, mind, and personality, we create the persona, which safely brings us towards what we desire. The first house is sometimes compared to a steersperson on a ship because it is us who steer our life toward what it will be as indicated by the sun. Any planet in the first house wants its own turn at steering the ship and may help or hinder us in our ability to act in life. They will color our personality and shape our body and mind. In my stories, I chose to compare the houses to actual rooms or places in our world. The first house is the entrance hall, because this is what we first see of a person, similar to someone's persona, someone's mask. The entrance door, which is our own personal mask,
can be seen as the border between ourselves and the world around us. The rooms behind the entrance hall aren't always visible at first, just like some parts of our chart cannot be recognized when we just meet a person, but through getting to know them better. Within the treasure chamber are protected all the things we value, physical or otherwise, because we have gained them through our own efforts. The second sphere of mortal life, the second house, is a succeedent house. It is the house in which we keep all the things we have earned through our own effort by putting our innate abilities at work. These are the fruits of our own personal labor, things we value most because we spend our hard earned money on them. The heavenly realm or sign which is connected to this house shows us what we value, what we like to spend our finances on, what we think is most desirable to own as an extension of ourselves. It shows the methods through which we receive our finances and physical resources, and as such shows us the job we take on to receive money. Once received, it shows us how we keep and lose what we have gained. The planetary gods that reside in the sphere of your natal chart have a say in all the topics and as such can increase or decrease your finances and possessions, or simply impact the attitude towards such topics. They might show just as much as the sign your hopes of what you can receive. But the second house isn't always about the physical. Our own self worth can be found here as well. And what we regard the most precious may not be of physical nature at all, but be spiritual, mental, or emotional, depending on the sign that it is connected with. Outside our home, we find the village. Here is the marketplace with its many sights and smells, our relative's home, our school, and our sacred temple. Here we venture to communicate and learn about what is close around us. The third sphere of mortal life, the third house, is a weak, cadent house, and also called goddess, for it is the joy of the moon. It is the house of the immediate environment, that which we are most familiar with. It is all those things that lie within close proximity, are outside our own home. The people that are oftentimes associated with this house are our own relatives, but also our neighbors in general. Everyone we can meet on a daily basis when we leave our house. Kindergarten and primary school teachers also belong into this category. The places connected to the third can be reached through short journeys. It's the grocery store where we buy our food, our kindergarten or school, but also more religious places like the church we attend on a weekly basis, whereas the belief system itself can be found in the ninth house. Church journeys themselves belong to the third house, as do vehicles like cars and buses. Our siblings, as well as any sibling like relationships, can be found in the third, as do females and feminism, due to the third being the joy of the moon, which is a female deity. Learning, especially as a formation of basic practical knowledge like speech, writing, or motor skills, belongs to the third, as do any cognitive disabilities that prevent it. Communication in general is a part of the third, and thus are letters, emails, parcels, and all other things that are part of communication. Here is our home and hearth, where father and mother reside. Herein lie childhood photos, family trees, and long held traditions. The fourth house, a potent angular house, also called the subterranean place, is the place we grew up in, where we have lived out our childhood for better or worse. It includes the people that have raised us, most often our parents. Any experiences of our family, its dynamics and environment, as well as the relationship with our parents, can be found here. Traditions formed by the family or our family belief system, anything that has imprinted itself on us due to their influence, is also part of the fourth. Although the fourth is a general significator for parents, oftentimes one can be found in the fourth and the other in the tenth. There is debate among which parent takes which house, with different reasonings, and we might go back to this when I talk about each house in more detail. Adjacent to the topic of health, matters such as land, real estate, and the building of our own house in adulthood can be found in the fourth. Adjacent to these topics of family are also our ancestry, as well as their burial sites and our homeland. Hidden below the horizon, the fourth house is a personal place where we come to rest after a day of work, retire after work is done for good, and find our death at the end of our life. As such, the fourth gives indications not only about the way we leave the public eye, but how we live physical life in general. Due to it being a house under the horizon, due to its underground connection, this place is also the place of hidden treasures, the place where things are kept safe and private. Here is the playroom where we indulge in the activities that bring us joy and express ourselves in play. The fifth house, a moderately strong succeeding house, also called good fortune, is the place where the goddess of desire, Venus, finds her joy. As such, here we find a place to express our desires and indulge in what brings us pleasure. Any pleasurable activity can be found here. Creative arts and any other hobbies and passions through which we can express our own desires can be found in the playroom. But also romantic endeavors and sheer pleasurable sex can be found here. As such, dating, the fun time of getting to know someone without the pressure of commitment, and affairs can be found here as well. Entertainment, too, is part of the fifth house, as well as the people that entertain us. Good fortune and riches, too, reside in the fifth, as do the easy but risky ways of gaining it through gambling and speculation. Children, a consequence of sex and the ultimate creation of two human beings, are a big part of the fifth. Our attitude towards not only our children but our own inner child can be found here, as well as our attitude of play. Whether we allow ourselves to engage in more frivolous, joyful activities or not can be found here. The workshop is where we must work diligently to support our life and retain our health. The sixth house, another weak and cadent house, is called bad fortune, for here Mars finds his joy. Here misfortune and bad luck may be found, and in any case, we must turn away from play and get to work. This might not be the most pleasurable thing to do, but it must be done, for this is how we support our life. With the second and the tenth, the sixth is an indicator of the way we earn money, but the sixth has more focus on the daily activities necessary to earn it. Originally associated with slaves, it can tell us of our own servitude or the ones in service to us. Employees, co-workers, and even pets belong in this category. Our attitude towards these people can be found in the sixth as well. Health, and any matter in which we stay healthy are matters of the sixth. Those are our daily nutrition and fitness routine. Our attitude to these topics can be found in the sixth. Illness and disease, as well as accident and injuries, may also be found here. This is it for the first six houses. Now, let me know in the comment what you think about this presentation. If you liked it, please leave a like. And if you want more, subscribe to the channel. If you want to watch another video, here are some suggestions.